Okay, so that's what you get. But when you look at the cumulative returns, NASDAQ since 2011 has done 769%. That's amazing. 17% a year. Well, Bitcoin's done 20 million percent at 139% annualized. Ethereum, 324% at 146% annualized. And Solana, which is a shorter history, 8,300% at 203% annualized. These are bonkers. These are bonkers returns.
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. In today's video, Raoul explains how can you prepare for the next new era and what asset you should own. Raoul talks about everything driving markets, macro, crypto, the banana zone, everything Vode, and more. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
And if you haven't watched the Everything Code, you don't know what it is, I urge you to watch the video on this channel, Raoul the Journeyman. It's so important, I can't express. And then watch the major updates I did, the big crypto updates. It'll tell you all about this. But anyway, the banana zone is that period when you transition out of macro crypto spring into crypto macro summer. Now, it happens to bizarrely coincide with the transition to summer that many of us are having. I'm in the Cayman Islands, so it's summer all the time. I know your heart bleeds for me, but some of us got to live this life. I take it seriously. So the banana zone is when that happens, usually after the halving, there's this consolidation period, down 20%, chopping around, the usual stuff. And then it starts gathering, and then it goes crazy. So let me show you a couple of charts on this, just so we're on the same page. Then you get into fall. Fall is often when the real fireworks happen. Liquidity keeps pumping and then eventually tops out into winter. That's when you get the corrections, the crypto down cycles. So we've got the best two parts of the cycle to come. Obviously,
One analyst says only one main indicator is necessary to predict whether Bitcoin can surpass its all-time high of $73,700 later in 2024, and it all rests on the shoulders of the United States Federal Reserve. The U.S. high-yield rate is a great indicator, and it really needs to drop below 6 or 7% for a sustainable all-time high. Timothy Peterson, Cane Island Alternative Advisors founder and investment manager. He explained that the primary measure he looks to for Bitcoin price action is interest rate movement. At the time of publication, the U.S. high-yield rate, which represents the rate of high-yield corporate bonds because of their higher risk of default, is 7.54%, according to eChart's data. Peterson predicted that if yield rates fall within the 6 or 7% range, Bitcoin could see the much-anticipated $100,000 price tag by the fourth quarter of 2024 or, at the latest, the second quarter of 2025. Typically, the Federal Reserve lowering interest rates leads to the high-yield rate following suit, something that nearly two-thirds of economists surveyed predict will happen in September, according to a recent survey conducted by Reuters. Interest rates are perceived as an important indicator for crypto traders, as lowering rates typically leads to less yield for investors in safe haven securities such as bonds and term deposits. As a result, more investors turn to riskier assets such as Bitcoin to achieve better returns on investment. Peterson argued that overall markets are generally flat and volatile between September and October. Not always, but many times, he commented. However, with the upcoming U.S. election, he claimed the uncertainty will be higher through October ahead of the election day, currently slated for November 4. Meanwhile, crypto analyst Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets, declared that the Fed cutting interest rates isn't always favorable for assets outside of fixed income investments. There is a wildly popular theory that a Fed pivot is good for markets. He stated in a May 14 post on X, "Rate cuts generally precede major dips." He commented on the wider overall market.
The Solana Bitcoin cross chart, Solana ETH cross chart looks so compelling that I'm like, if my job here is to make as much money as possible, I'm just going to own the thing that I think is going to go up the most. So that was the view I had. You will have a different way, but please don't get stuck into a narrative. You're still stuck in some fucking token from 3 cycles ago because somebody's telling you that it's going to definitely be the next big thing. It's not a big thing after 3 cycles, 2 cycles. It's not going to be the big thing. So just try and make money. I'm trying to allow you not to this up. Don't this up is the key mantra. When you've got a liquidity cycle ahead of you like this, please take advantage of it. The next part of that is the NASDAQ. Maybe you're not crypto people, but God, tech does well in crypto summer. We had an astonishing year last year with long tech all year, astonishingly good year in tech, and it's only going to get crazier. And I'll talk about tech a lot later when I'm talking about where this is all going and why you've only got 6 years to save yourselves before the world gets a little crazy. But in tech, it is fall that is the big period. The later part of the season is when it goes really bananas. That's after the election. This is the same as the election cycle. The election years are in yellow, then the post-election years, that tends to happen. So liquidity is going to pump into the system. It's going to come from different measures. I'm sure there's going to be questions about this in the chat on Real Vision, realvision.com. If you've not gone there, I'm not going to talk to you ever again. If you do come across realvision.com, I'll say hi, and I'll be very grateful. And it's free, and I'm there to ask some questions. Okay, we had the last fall in 2021, which was less so. It's because the liquidity came earlier in 2020. So we don't know how it's going to play out, but this is how it should play out. Here's a chart from Exponential Age Asset Management, which is my fund of hedge funds, then to 100 trillion, where I think it goes by, let's say 2032, 2034, something like that. This is going to be the biggest, largest, fastest accumulation of wealth in all human history. And that's why I keep saying, don't fuck this up. That's why I have a long-term time horizon. That's why I don't trade around this. Just let it do its job. So here's when we talk about doing its job. So we look at the bottom, the highest return section and the lowest return section. So out of the 3 years, crypto spring, macro spring, summer, and fall, crypto is the best performing asset in the world. Bar none.
Bitcoin is preparing upward continuation, which should see not only new all-time highs, but a trip to a record $95,000. According to Bitcoin, such dizzying BTC price levels are a matter of time. It just remains to be seen how much is required. $95,000 will be achieved in just one move, and that is quite obvious, he wrote. Will that move start today, tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow? I don't think anyone knows. Bitcoin was responding to analysis from fellow commentator Mikey Bull Crypto, who spied his so-called cup and handle formation playing out on weekly timeframes. The structure consists of a consolidatory phase following a strong run-up, a reversal, and subsequent breakout higher. Mikey Bull Crypto agrees that the result will be a return to BTC price discovery. The breakout will be explosive and will send it to a cycle top. He wrote in part of X commentary on May 14. Bitcoin is known for his BTC price forecasts, last year successfully predicting a new all-time high for BTC/UST before April's block subsidy halving. He and Mikey Bull Crypto are also not alone in their convictions. Not everyone is negative when it comes to where Bitcoin might head next, despite being trapped in a narrow range for more than a month and threatening a breakdown toward $50,000. Usually when the price action gets worse, the chop is nearing the end. Popular trader Don Crypto Trades argued in part of his own recent X content. Shows a lack of participation, lower liquidity, and more compression. This is often followed by an explosive move. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.